The talk about George Russell going to Ferrari is everywhere, and it's not the flattering compliment the headlines make it sound like. It's actually a harsh public sign that Mercedes has failed to manage its drivers and plan for the future. The simple fact that one of the sport's best young drivers, the man who was supposed to take over from Lewis Hamilton, is being openly chased by their biggest rival shows a major problem in Mercedes' contract planning. Ferrari is watching closely, and they're ready to pounce. This isn't a story about a driver improving. It's a story about a team losing control of its own future, and it puts George Russell in a terrible position. With the all-important 2026 season ahead, the main issue at the heart of this messy situation is the famous performance clause in Russell's contract. At first glance, it sounds like a smart and fair deal. Russell's 2027 seat depends on how well he performs in 2026. But in reality, that clause is a ticking time bomb. It weakens Mercedes at the worst possible time and gives power directly to their rivals, especially Ferrari. Let's be clear, a top team like Mercedes, one that prides itself on being the smartest and best prepared, should never have allowed such an important seat to hinge on a vague, performance-based escape clause. The moment they signed that deal, they effectively put a for sale sign on their 2027 seat, dependent entirely on one season's results. That's not what a confident, winning team does. It's the desperate gamble of a team still reeling from Hamilton's departure and unsure of its direction under the new regulations. The idea that this clause shows Russell's confidence is also misleading. His public statements that "my future is in my own hands" sound good for the cameras, but the reality is much tougher. He's not just fighting for his seat. He's fighting against a contract that forces him to prove himself all over again, under maximum pressure. Every single lap of the 2026 season will be judged through the lens of that clause. Every mistake, every missed opportunity will be magnified, especially with Ferrari watching and waiting for Mercedes to slip up. The danger of a performance clause is that no one really knows what counts as good performance. Because those targets aren't public, the media and fans will speculate constantly, creating a week-by-week pressure cooker. That's a distraction no championship contending team can afford. And it doesn't just put pressure on Russell, it also burdens Toto Wolff and the entire technical department. They know that if they fail to deliver a competitive car in 2026, it could be the exact reason their star driver leaves. In short, they've set themselves up to fail. This contract detail risks overshadowing the enormous task of adapting to the new rules, a massive planning mistake. The constant scrutiny will weigh heavily on the team. It encourages cautious, risk-free thinking, the opposite of the bold, winning mindset Mercedes needs in this new era. The clause isn't motivation, it's a chain. And that's why the Ferrari link is so powerful. Ferrari's interest in Russell isn't casual curiosity, it's a calculated move designed to exploit Mercedes' weakness. By publicly linking Russell to Ferrari, they crank up the pressure on him and force Mercedes to worry constantly. It creates uncertainty inside the team, exactly what Ferrari wants for its long-term advantage. This situation is made even more complicated by the arrival of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Mercedes is already dealing with the aftermath of Hamilton's exit. Now they face a 2026 season where their lead driver, Russell, is effectively on a one-year, high-stakes tryout while their new young star is waiting right behind him. It's a recipe for internal chaos. Instead of working together to build the best possible car, Mercedes risks turning 2026 into an internal battle for the 2027 seat, a situation that could have been easily avoided with a long-term, stable contract for Russell. The 2026 regulation change was supposed to be Mercedes' fresh start, their big chance to return to dominance. Instead, they're entering this key period with a driver lineup built on uncertainty. Russell's technical input, leadership, and focus, all vital for developing the new car, will be under constant strain from his contract pressure. He can't afford a single bad weekend or slump in form. Now, compare that to Ferrari. While they have a short-term challenge replacing Hamilton, their long-term plan is clear. They have their own young talent, Oliver Bearman, ready to step up. He's the safe, smart, and popular choice for the 2027 seat, a homegrown driver who embodies the future of Ferrari. His promotion would be a great story for fans and a testament to Ferrari's academy system. He's the easy, fully controllable option. The saddest part of all this is the lack of trust Mercedes has shown in Russell. After years of grooming him, after putting him through the toughest challenge imaginable, partnering Hamilton, they've failed to give him the ultimate show of confidence. A long-term, doubt-free contract. Instead, they've told him, "You are our future, but only if you prove it again under maximum pressure during the most critical rule change in a decade." That's not leadership, that's poor management. This unclear contract is a painful reminder of Mercedes' past mistakes. Hamilton's shocking move to Ferrari proved that Mercedes had grown complacent, believing history and loyalty alone would keep their stars. The Russell Performance Clause shows they haven't learned that lesson. Instead of locking in their next leader with conviction, they've introduced another layer of doubt, suggesting they still don't fully trust Russell. Or perhaps they're keeping the door open for a bigger name. Maybe the ghost of Max Verstappen still haunts the Mercedes strategy room. This hesitation, this failure to commit, is the hallmark of a team that's lost its direction. The entire F1 world is watching, and the message is clear. Performance clauses belong to teams unsure of their future, not to championship contenders. Using one on a proven race winner, a driver who's consistently delivered in a difficult car, is an insult to his talent and a huge strategic blunder. Mercedes should have learned from Hamilton's departure that loyalty and security work both ways. By creating this uncertainty, they've only made themselves vulnerable. So what do you think? Has Mercedes made a huge mistake with George Russell's contract? Or is the performance clause a necessary evil in the ruthless world of Formula One? Let us know in the comments below.